this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th. The Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's up,
I
dude?
hear you guys went to No Kings.
Dude, I represented in downtown Tulsa. Jesse, you made it out a little bit later in the day, but you still got to experience it for a bit, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. What was your experience like? I got a couple stories from mine, but what was your overall experience like? Well, real quick, did you go to the first No Kings back in June, or was this your first No Kings?
Thanks to the man in front of me. Thanks to you. I actually attended the No Kings with you and your boy up in Tulsa.
Oh yeah, that's right. Totally. Sorry, dumb question. Yeah, you were here with
That's all
me.
right, man. I'm not
Yeah.
very memorable. It's,
Sorry. Yeah, we went together. Okay, so yeah. So I'm guessing Austin a lot more people than you saw in Tulsa here.
uh, there was, but I don't know. Like in Tulsa, that was my very first protest experience of any kind. So even though it was way smaller, I mean, it felt massive in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Everything just seemed bigger this last go around.
Nice. So I'll be quick with this, but it was raining. I think it was raining in Dallas and Fort Worth for the protest from people I talked to. It was raining here in Tulsa, and the hardest rain was for the first 30 minutes of the protest. It was supposed to rain pretty hard until 12:30. We wanted to get out there, but we didn't want to stand in the rain. So luckily, I knew of a rooftop bar overlooking the park that this protest was happening in. So we got there about 20 minutes early and drank for about an hour until the rain let up, and then went down to enjoy the protest. And let me tell you, that's the way to do a protest. I don't care what time it starts. You should always pregame your protest with some drinks. You will have more fun. That's what I'm here to say. Other than that, really good time. So Jesse, any fun things you saw or overall just vibe from the crowd that was interesting?
Well, I saw a video of you and your boy celebrating from what looked like a VIP press box.
Yeah, that was our
Yeah, I
rooftop
guess
bar.
if you're gonna protest, I mean,
Yeah.
I
We
don't
did,
think
we
there's a more
we
bougie
went
way to do it.
down. The protest was only supposed to be 2 hours, and we were downstairs in the protest for like an hour 15 of it. After the protest, we went straight back to the bar. So
Wait,
I
so
went.
they had it scheduled out for 2 hours?
Yeah, it was 12 to 2 or 12 to 2:30. I can't remember one or the other. And what's funny is we kind of thought we were like nobody's gonna leave it. Let's just say it was 2. We were like nobody's gonna leave at 2. And like by like 2:15 there was only a couple people out there. Like everybody left right at 2. But there was a good showing for that 2 hours, I will say.
That's disappointing.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta,
think.
I gotta say, like an organized protest where you have like a protest should be more protestial.
Uh,
Like you're not gonna like don't like stay in within the bounds of what the government is telling you to do. You're protesting the government. Don't stay in bounds of like 12 to 2. Oh, 2 o'clock, everybody go home and like feed your
it,
kids or what. Like fucking you're protesting. You've protested until however late you want to fucking protest.
it was raining all day. Like I said, the heaviest rain was at the beginning, but it was raining all day. And I think once 2 o'clock hit, everybody was wet and everybody was ready to go home. And then the one city that I saw where they went all night was Portland, and that was really the only city where there ended up being like clashes. I don't want to say violence, but clashes between the protesters and the police. So like the permit they had for a protest was from 12 to 2. We respected that. That I talked to a handful of police out there. Every time I passed a cop, I stop and I talked to the cop and just made small talk with him, and they were all being cool as hell. But Jesse, I don't know if this will be the same for you, but the protest crowd this time was 100% old and white. Like there were females of all ages. There were females in every age bracket. There were very little men my age. Like that was the demographic that was missing. Was like men 20 to 45. Like didn't see them. But old white people galore. Like that was most of what my protest was. Did you kind of have the same thing in Austin or not?
Austin was a good mix. I mean, pretty much everybody, young, old. I mean, every flavor of the rainbow. Pretty much what you saw at No Kings in Tulsa was
Okay.
the same here, and I think like No Kings in Tulsa was a pretty varied group of people.
It was diverse the first No Kings. This No Kings was considerably an old white crowd. Like, and I have no problem with that. You know who shows up to vote in midterms? Old white
The old
people.
white.
So yeah, I have no problem with the turnout of what was there. But yeah, they were like I said, there was some and a lot of kids. My wife had actually made a comment about coming with me, and I was like, what are we gonna do with the kid? We can't take her with us. Tell you what, I saw an interview with the guy that runs Indivisible, which kind of put on the No Kings protest. He said there's going to be a three No Kings 3.0, and I probably am going to take my kid to the next one. I saw a lot of kids out there, and it seemed to be quite all right. There was no violence. The last protest that we went to, that Jesse went to with me, there were like two MAGA trucks that kept circling the block and driving by us and had Trump flags, and it was like two good old boys in overalls, like big boys, and they would like yell out the window. Didn't even have that. There was not a single car that like was mad at us. A lot of cars driving by and honking, so it was kind of weird. It was zero pushback, which I was expecting a little bit, and just none.
Yeah, in Austin, it was a lot of smiles, a lot of just good vibes. Everybody had a great time. I mean, I think that's the part that resonated with me the most. Just everybody was coming out. It's like, I don't know, in Austin, and Doc, you've lived here for many, many years. Every weekend there's some kind of festival or some kind of a race. And one of the things I love the most about Austin festivals, you just have like the best vibes in the world. And so
Sure.
everybody protesting was just smiling ear to ear, having a good time. Uh, a lot happier people than what I would have expected at a Hate America rally.
we're going to talk about how the right framed this here in a minute, because that's all I kept thinking the whole time. Is I was like, this is the most pro-America I could imagine a rally being. Like, it didn't seem anti-America at all. But you talking about everybody smiling. I went with my buddy Matt, who you went with me last time, but then I took another buddy, and this is a dad from the soccer team that I found out about a year ago is an undercover Democrat. Like, he very quietly told me and was like, "Don't tell anybody, but like, I'm not a Trump fan and I vote blue." And I was like, holy shit, I'd never thought it was the case. So I got him to come with me, and he was hesitant. And after we did like 30 minutes, because we walked the whole time, we didn't stay put anywhere. Our protest was spread on a street corner and basically going down two streets. So like we were just making our way up and down it. And at one point he stopped me and he was like, "I can't stop smiling." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "This is a good time, right?" And he was just like, "I didn't think there were this many Democrats in Tulsa." And I was like, "Dude, like, you're not alone. Like, they're here." Like, so he had a blast. I was glad. I think that he is looking forward to protest number 3, and he's gonna have his wife and kids make signs. Like, the whole time he was like, "Why don't we have signs?" And I was like, I'm not really a stand there and chant kind of person. I'm a walk the crowd and people watch kind of person. But it was overall good. Jesse, you brought it up real quick, but our first experience, our all week long, Mike Johnson and Republicans were trying to paint this as basically a terrorist rally, right? I mean, pro Hamas, pro Antifa, and everything else. So let's
George
remember.
Soros funded.
Yeah, let's remember real quick how Mike Johnson said this was going to go.
I'll turn it back over to the leader. We take some questions, but we've heard, and many of you have reported already, this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th. The Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall. We got some House Democrats selling T-shirts for this event.
Now, real quick, he
Don't
said
wanna punch
there
him in the face.
he said pro Antifa, pro Hamas, pro Marxist, and he said communist, I think. I will say, I saw 3 people out there that I wasn't cool with being out there. There were 2 people that were together in a group that were carrying straight up communist flags, hammer and sickle Soviet Union flags. And I saw that, and immediately I was like, no. Like, and luckily everybody else was kind of giving the same look, like, what are you guys doing out here? Like, they didn't seem to have any friends in the crowd, but they were moving around the whole time. And then I did see one sign where it was like, oh, I wish I should have taken a picture of it, but it was basically calling on violence towards Republicans. I remember, and as soon as I saw the sign, I was like, no, like, that's not the right message. But out of, supposedly they said there was between 2,000 and 2,500 people at the Tulsa rally. I saw 3 that really, I wish they weren't there. They were not a good look for us. But that's, 0.0001% or whatever. So I didn't have a problem with anything. Jesse, did you see anybody out there that you were like, like, I wish they weren't here on this side? Anybody like that?
Fortunately, there was no instigators this time around.
Okay, good deal. And you guys had the National Guard on standby. I had heard that the governor called in the National Guard to Austin, but then I don't know if it was you or somebody else told me that they were sitting in buses nearby, like in case they were needed, but they never actually made it out to the street. Did you see any National Guard?
Not a single one. Yeah, I know
Okay.
for ICE, they had talked about deploying and then kind of hanging tight and just being there to protect the protesters. But yeah, if I didn't read anything about them deploying National Guard, I would have had no clue they were there.
I almost don't have a problem with if you say, hey, we're going to call them in and we're going to have them on standby in case things get wild. Like, I kind of don't have a problem with that. Like, in case things went wild, it would have been
Eh,
nice to maybe have them.
eh,
Okay, I'm a little on that too, but I'm just
eh.
trying to
Yeah.
see
And
both
I'm in
sides.
the same boat because I mean, think about it. I mean, City of Austin, one thing I love about the police here is the police force is legit. Like almost everybody who's a part of APD, I mean, they're tactfully trained, probably more so than most other police agencies. And so,
Denver too.
I mean, they know how to riot. They've got the horses and all the gear and everything you need. And there's times of the year where they'll come out of the woodwork and they'll kind of hunker down. I feel like Austin's always had a lot of respect for their police officers, and I feel like they have, again, the manpower and the means to back up a massive riot. So, again, super shocked that they brought out National Guard. Just reluctant that you didn't really see anybody out there.
I gotta say real quick, I've been on 6th Street in Austin with both of you two in different occasions. Sometimes under the influence of wild things, docs.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but I can think of several times that we've been down there and we're doing our thing, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, like cops that were kind of on a side street have now like they've come in, they've got horses setting up like a box to where you can't get to the interior of it, and they'll have somebody on the ground and zip tied and then being drug away, and it's quick. It's like it's tactical and effective. Like boom, they're out here, they got the person, now they're carrying somebody away in zip ties. And it's like, all right, everybody go back to your partying. They got the one troublemaker. So I've been impressed by Austin police before. I've also been scared to death of them when I was with you, Docs. But that's a fun story for a different night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different
So,
crowd.
Mike Johnson went back on ABC Sunday morning, and they kind of were poking at him a little bit, like, "Hey, I thought you said this was going to be violent." And anyhow, I'll let you guys watch this clip of Mike Johnson real quick.
We'll get to the shutdown, but just on this notion that these are hate America rallies, and you not only talked about anarchists, Antifa advocates, pro-Hamas wing, and you said this is the modern Democratic Party. But I remember not that long ago what you said after the murder of Charlie Kirk, when you said that we should view fellow Americans not as our enemies, but as our fellow countrymen.
Yeah, I've never called anybody an enemy, but we call out.
Hate America rally or, Antifa pro-Hamas, those are enemies.
Well, there were a lot of hateful messages yesterday. I mean, we have video and photos of pretty violent rhetoric, calling out the president, saying fascists must die and all the rest. I mean, I don't think that's loving speech. I don't think that's friendly speech. And I don't think it's pro-American to say those kinds of things. So it's not about the people, it's about the message, it's about the ideology. And I will stand here every Sunday and talk with you about the dangers of Marxism and socialism and how it's led to the literal death of tens of millions of people in the 20th century alone. It is a dangerous ideology, and it is anti-American. It goes against everything that we stand for.
So protesting stands against everything America stands for. What a wheezy little fuck.
So I gotta say, and I don't know if you guys caught it there, but he said that there were, what did he say? He said there were all kinds of violent rhetoric calling out the president, saying fascists must die. It's like, it's one of those where recently Marjorie Taylor Greene said, like, if any foreign country tries to kill me, just know that I'm not suicidal. And Ted Cruz immediately said, why does everybody always say Israel's trying to kill them? And a lot of people were like, she didn't say Israel. Like the fact that you read that and you thought Israel. Mike Johnson saw fascists must die and was up there talking about Trump. He's kind of telling on himself there. That's my first thought. Also, even the next day, he was trying to frame this as some kind of a violent terrorist protest that was going on. It was nothing of the sort.
Right. Well, so they're taking from George Floyd, right? George Floyd it was destructive, but it wasn't violent until the what's the guy in Minnesota who shot somebody? What's that guy's name? He's like a darling of the right now.
Oh, that was in Wisconsin. That's what's that kid's name?
Did he come? He came from Minnesota to Wisconsin.
No, Kyle Rittenhouse. He came from Wisconsin, or he came from is it Illinois? Illinois is just below Wisconsin. He went from Illinois into Wisconsin. That's where his stepdad lived. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is that kid's name. Yeah. I swear, I think that's what Trump and part of the right, I don't know how big a part, but they want that. Like, they want the spark to go off. And, like, Democrats didn't give it to them at all. And I love that. My favorite sign over the weekend, and I thought this kind of was the great example of what the Tulsa protest was all about. But it was a nice lady, probably about 50 to 60, and her sign says, "We are here because we love America and will stand up for democracy." That was kind of what every sign said. Like, it was the most pro-America rally I have been to ever. Like, it was more pro-America than the first No Kings by far.
And I'm super proud of everybody because there were no riots. Like New York claimed there was no arrests, Austin claimed there was no arrest, and obviously bringing in the National Guard, ICE, all that stuff kind of invokes more. It's just an opposing viewpoint to what the whole rally is about. So like if you deploy the National Guard to a protest, you're going to invoke some sort of like even just a general policeman walking around is going to invoke something
Well,
at these rallies.
you mentioned, I think, just now that the NYPD put out a statement that it was peaceful and there were no arrests and all that. And I love that all the major cities, their police departments were either putting out statements or videos on social media thanking the protesters for being calm and no violence and this and that. I think that's great. And that's a good way to keep the relationship between, because protesting is legal and it's a First Amendment protected action you can do. And the cops have to respect that. I did pull one of these because I thought this was the best one of all of them I saw. But this is from San Diego real quick.
Hello, I am Lieutenant Travis Easter, and I am the Public Information Officer with the San Diego Police Department. Today, October 18th, is the No Kings Day Part 2 protest. Once again, there were 0 arrests. Thank you to everyone who came out and practiced their First Amendment peacefully and responsibly. Thanks for keeping it classy, San Diego. Until next time, take care and be safe.
Solid video.
First of all, I just like that cop. I want to be friends with him. He seemed pretty cool. But that's what every police department was kind of doing. And whether it was a statement or a video, they were saying, "Hey, great job out there today, protesters. Keep up the good work." Like, awesome. Keep that going. That's great. I want to see that every time. And if there are some screw ups and people that get arrested, feel free to call them out. Did you guys see the total arrest count of protesters versus non-protesters?
No.
So taking Portland out of this, because Portland at one point that night was just coming out of the ICE facility and grabbing people and pulling them in. So I don't know how many people got arrested there or got detained. I think most of them got detained and released later without charges. But take Portland out of this. There were 3 pro No Kings people arrested that we know of in all the United States, and there were 27 MAGA counter protesters arrested. So that was the official count as of Sunday. I don't know if that's changed since then, but 27 MAGA counter protesters showed up trying to cause shit and got themselves arrested. Doing weird shit. Like one lady I saw pulled up in her car along the street where they were protesting. This was in Florida, and pulled out a gun, brandished a gun to them. And like
Whoa.
the second she did, like 3 cop cars slid in and yanked her out. She was like 60, an old white lady, and went to jail. So, but yeah, good job, protesters.
I did see one instance where it was a little violent on our side. And
Okay.
I don't remember what city it was. Like, it might have been Philadelphia or New York or something like that. But it was there was like a group of guys chanting down the street, "Go Trump, Trump rules," something along the line.
Was this the older guy that he had a vest and he had a New York shirt on underneath it, and he ends up getting a cut on his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that guy.
So somebody walked up and just snatched his sunglasses right off and took off running. And he, like, I don't know, he's 65 years old. He starts running after the guy. He trips and falls on his face.
Dude,
And then
hold on.
then he
He did one of those falls, Jesse. If you haven't seen this video, I should have pulled it. But he did that fall where his arms didn't even try to break the fall. Like his face hit the pavement first and then slid like 3 feet along the pavement with no attempt to break the fall. It was
I
great.
think that was the second one, though, right?
That might have been the second fall. Yeah.
Because the first fall he fell on his own and he kind of got up and he kept running after the guy. And then the second one, and this is where it got wrong, was somebody tripped him. Somebody
Yeah.
stuck his foot out, tripped the guy, and I don't know if he hit the curb, but
He didn't hit the curb.
He got
He-
really close to the curb.
Yeah.
And he got up and he was kind of dazed and confused and started kind of running after the guy. And people were like, "Yo, dude, you got a big cut on your face," and like like the protesters like came and like tried to like soothe him, like, "Hey man, like chill out. You need medical attention." And he was
Yeah.
still all up in arms. And
When he first got up from that second fall, you could see where his eye had like split open wide, and it was like, oh wow, that's split open. And then within 30 seconds, his face was just he looked like Braveheart, but red instead of blue, like just blood going down his face. And they were like, dude, we don't want you to get hurt more. You need a medic. Like they were trying to get him to calm down. He still wanted to fight. And he was walking down the street doing pro-Trump and calling people the FAG word. I'm not going to say that word, but a lot of the pro-Trump people that showed up were trying to be as annoying as possible in hopes that somebody would sucker punch them. And they could be like, oh, look how violent they are.
Yeah.
They punched me. And it's like, well, you're out here asking to get hit in the face to a degree. I felt like he was one of those people. So when he fell on the ground, I didn't feel bad for him at all. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, he definitely was antagonizing the crowd.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, can we hear what Jesse's congressman had to say about the No Kings rally?
Let's do it.
Political rallies. And the truth is, the Marxists, the radicals, and the Islamists, the Democratic Party promoted this weekend. They cannot handle the truth. The truth is that there is a king, and that king is Jesus. And the president has been willing to say it. His administration has been willing to say it. And Charlie Kirk was willing to say it, and he got killed for it.
Has Trump really said that?
I'm sure he has at some point, but
I don't believe Trump's ever said Jesus is king.
Christ is king. Here, I'm not sure if he said it or not, but what's interesting is all day Sunday, the Republicans were trying to like find a reply because the majority of shows they went on, it was like, hey, the protests seemed pretty peaceful, a lot of pro-America stuff. It wasn't a hate America. And they were kind of fumbling all day Sunday trying to respond to that. And then that clip was from Monday morning. Chip Roy comes out and he basically decides, all right, let's just make this about Jesus. The people that were out there yesterday, they're afraid because they know Jesus is king. And so that was their spin today, was that it was an anti-Jesus rally that happened this last weekend. That was what they were. It didn't go very far, but he said that, and then a couple of them went on the shows, CNN and Fox Today, and they were like, well, the problem is the left just refuses to accept the fact that Christ is king. I heard that 5 or 6 times today after Chip Roy said it.
That's their talking point right now?
That's all they have. And it was kind of funny because it was like, hold on. Of all the things I saw yesterday, Saturday, I didn't see anything that was anti-Christianity at all. I didn't even see anything that was pro-Muslim. Granted, I'm in Oklahoma, so maybe in other areas. I saw one Palestinian flag while I was out there, and I don't mind a Palestinian flag. If it's some kind of pro-Hamas thing, I'm not down with that at all. But yeah, free Palestine, cool. I'm good with that. They should have.
Nobody's really pro-Hamas at this point. I mean,
there were some idiot kids on college campuses that were dumb and didn't know the difference and were like, "Yeah, Hamas." That was 2 years ago, and they've learned that they're not in the right on that.
yeah, and that's a whole nother issue we could talk about. But
yeah, and yeah, going along with what Trump is doing to destroy America, I've got one other thing on this. But Jesse, did you have anything else on the No Kings? Any final thoughts?
I mean, just to echo what's already been said, I mean, you've got how many million people nationwide? And you look at
7. I forgot to say that 7 million showed up this time. They think it was around 5 million last time, 7 million this time. And the guy running Indivisible said there will be a Trump 3.0, and they're trying to get even more people for 3.0. So,
just, I mean, looking at the sheer number of people, the fact that there were, few to no protest-related arrests, for me, that was the biggest thing, right? Because I mean, I knew you and I knew your buddy for like 5 minutes before you went to the one in Tulsa. But the fact that you've got a lot of strangers all out there for the same cause, and I disagree with flipping somebody's sunglasses or hat off. Like, to me, that's petty stuff, right? That's what some troublemaker high school kids do at the mall. That aside, though, it just to know that everybody across the board participated, all on the same page of music, kept it peaceful. It's fantastic, man. Proud of those citizens out there.
That's the biggest takeaway I had, is that I was proud. I was proud of how that went today. How people had their voice be heard, but in not a bad way, not a mean way, not an unkind way. Like, it was a very positive protest, is the way I felt about it. So, agreed. Docs, you only got to see clips and videos from the internet, but what was your thought about how they went across the country?
no, I was definitely happy with the way it went. Yeah, I think because Trump wanted things to go awry, I'm so glad that it didn't go awry, right?
Yeah.
I'm so like, but let's just say 2026 doesn't go the Democratic way, and it's obvious that like there's influence from Trump. Like, I feel like we would meet the moment with a different. I feel like meeting the moment in the appropriate response is the way to do it.
I think overall political violence I'm against. I do think if it looks like Trump rigs like the midterms, I wouldn't have faith that people would come out peacefully.
And I'm not saying political violence. I'm saying like Tulsa leaving at 2:00. Like I want people to go past their allotted time and like,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
real quick, we only got a couple minutes left, but this is the other thing. This is a small thing, but it's bothering me. I saw this morning, and it's been bothering me all day. Trump's building his new ballroom. Construction has started. People were worried that he was going to damage or somehow take away from the beauty of the current White House. He gave a little interview. I can't remember what he was talking about, but they asked him about this, and he very specifically said, "We're not going to touch the existing building at all. This is all going to be separate." Let's play this real quick.
No, he's chopping down a couple of trees.
Yep, yeah.
There's like 2 giant trees he's chopping down.
Well, check this out real quick.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it.
So he said it's not touching the current building. He wouldn't do that. He has so much respect for the current building. So
It's his favorite building.
they started on it today. Let's take a look and see what they're doing.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's the east wing of the White House right there that they are tearing apart with a bulldozer. I've never torn anything apart before, but there's a guy with a fire hose type thing, and he was spraying everything they were tearing down. You guys, is it like, does that soften the material for the bulldozer
To keep the dust from going everywhere.
Oh, okay, the dust.
That's my guess. I mean,
that makes, because I saw videos of it, and that guy was spraying all day long. But yeah, so they're tearing off that side of the East Room. Now, he is going to build the most beautiful ballroom ever, so I guess, we'll be fine. But, like...
I mean, he's ruined the Rose Garden already. Like,
that was just 2 months ago when he said he wasn't going to do anything to touch... He said he's not going to touch
not even
the
gonna
existing
touch
building.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
I'm
is...
really touching it.
honestly, I hope that this thing, he gets kicked out of office in 2028 and this thing's not even finished yet. And he never gets to use it. He never even gets to step foot in it.
It could happen. All right,
It's
pull
gonna
that
be like
down.
his. It's gonna be like his wall.
Yeah, so that's... I don't know why that's been... I saw different pics, different angles of that all day long, and it was bothering the shit out of me, so I had to share that with y'all. But no, here's my thought. No Kings 3.0 is probably going to be in the spring. I think whether it be in Denver, Austin, or Tulsa, we should try to meet up for the next No Kings. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know. It might end up on a weekend where it doesn't make sense to do it, but just as a fun thought, it'd be fun if the three of us went to a No Kings and then sat down afterward and did like a live pod with us all in the same room to reflect on it. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So also Fort Worth, we all could venture back to our homeland of the DFW area. Fort Worth had like 7,000 people there this weekend. They marched through the streets. My boss lives downtown Fort Worth. He said they were marching down the streets all day long. Like, so I'm just saying we should all enjoy a No Kings together is all I'm going to say. Bring the families.
I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. That's all I got on No Kings. Anything else? Final words from y'all?
Not me. Shit.
All right.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.